Alright, so first of all, I am making a light bulb with aluminum, batteries, and Christmas lights. What you see is things I'm gonna use. Well, some of them. I'm not gonna use the light bulb actually. I'm not gonna use the RGB things because I don't even know how they work. And I use the knife to cut the Christmas lights so the copper can be exposed, the copper wiring. So I didn't use the light bulb because in my physics class it had like a special light bulb that had two connections. So in this picture was a light bulb. See, in the class I had two. So where the orange line place thing is, there was also a connection right there, but this light bulb doesn't have any. It's the same for the ones in the box, and I didn't know how it worked, but I bought it, so I searched up videos on how to make it work, like as in cutting it to see like how it could turn it on and whatever. But then this showed up, and I was like, what? And I didn't want to burn my house. Didn't want to burn my house down, so... But it's okay, I still would have tried. But then this happened, and I'm like, what does this mean? So in the end, I didn't do anything. But anyway, I use Christmas lights, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, and the RGB lights, it had the same thing as the light bulb, the LEDs, so I didn't use them either. So now we have my setup: the aluminum tinfoil, the knife, the batteries, and the Christmas lights. Also, a knife might not be enough. It's kind of difficult, so if you want to make it go faster, you can use scissors, but sometimes just cut through the entire thing, so you have to be careful with them. Yeah, there were things at the end of the there were things at the end of the Christmas lights which you plug into the wall, so I just cut them off, and then I untangled everything, and it showed this. There were some parts where it's 3 wires in one bulb. It's probably because it went around, and I think this was a problem, so I just cut this part off and then used the rest. And then I used the Duracell batteries. Yeah, at the beginning I didn't cut them off, so I took a picture. I put 3 batteries. I thought it would work, but now I know from the future that it requires more batteries, because apparently Christmas lights take a lot of volts. So whatever, I guess. But I didn't know that before, so I made it smaller. And this didn't work either. I don't know why. When I put the copper on each side of the battery, I thought it was the flare for some reason, but I forgot that it was an insulator and not a conductor. So whatever. Also, fun fact: copper is second most conductive element. Cool, crazy. I searched this up online. So because the copper didn't work directly on the batteries, I just I wrapped it in aluminum. As you can see the hole in there, I put it in the hole. And so when I plugged it in with one battery, as you see here, the 2 batteries did light up, and I'm holding it with my fingers on top of the battery. The batteries are 1.5 volts, by the way, so one battery is probably one light. Yeah, one battery equals one Christmas light, probably. But anyway, this is how it goes. The battery is the red, then the wire is the orange, then the light is the also red, then it goes to the other light, and then it goes around. Apparently, I also learned this from my physics teacher, that I think the aluminum and the copper have electrons naturally, and that the battery doesn't make electrons, but it just moves them in a circuit. That's what I heard from my physics teacher. So it just goes round and round. The battery just makes them go round and round. But I already had them in the first place. It just had to move. And since I know how to turn it on normally, I can use them for why I wanted to make them in the first place. And that's to light up my closet. As you can see here, I have lights in the side. And I'm using the box to push it. My room is normally dark because there's no windows. I don't usually have the light on because I don't actually have a light. I have a lamp instead. So I put 2 batteries, I think. And then this is how bright it gets. Then this is the light with 3 batteries. Well, the iPhone kind of takes bad pictures. And then there's the light with 4 batteries. I can't say 4 correctly, but this is what it looks like. So anyway, this looks cool and whatever, but it's not enough light. So I tried doing this, and it didn't work. I don't know why, but if it was gonna work, I was gonna make it go on top, like so. Put the tinfoil on the sides, then tape it to the wall, tape it to the ceiling. Then with the lights on top, I'm also gonna tape the lights on the top as well. And then I'll put something in front of it, so the light won't directly hit my eyes. And then I can put whatever I want on top of my shelf, and on top of my cabinet. Yeah, so it didn't work, so I had to change it. But this is what the shielding from the lights would look like. I got this from the packaging I got from buying the lights from Amazon and the batteries from Amazon, as you can see. So anyway, it didn't work, so I had to change it up. But this also didn't work. I don't know why. I mean, there's 5 batteries. The lights are taped on top. The aluminum is also taped on top. So I tried to change some things. Like I changed the lights. I cut off different parts of it. And I changed the battery direction too. I knew that wasn't gonna work, but I changed it anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it happened, but whatever. But this is what I think what happened, to be honest. I think the tape completely covered the tinfoil. So maybe the electrons didn't go through somehow. Maybe tape is an insulator. I don't know. The tinfoil overlapped while I was like trying to change directions, so it didn't work somehow. I don't know. I didn't test it. If you're making lights and that's why you're watching this video, you can test it yourself. Okay, yeah, but I changed the tape and I reduced the overlap, so now it just looks like this. And it does work. Sadly, it doesn't hit the other side of the cabinet, so it's whatever, I guess. But I got extremely tired, so I didn't want to do anymore. And also one of the lights broke and I don't know why. And this is what it looks like. Very epic, very cool. And this is how it goes. The copper is on top of the ceiling actually. I didn't put it inside the aluminum because it kind of got annoying and I didn't really have to. So I just put it on top above the aluminum, and I just taped the aluminum on top of the ceiling. And I made sure all the tape is not entirely covering the aluminum, so that's cool, I guess. And this is where it goes. 5 batteries, and it goes in one direction. Cool. Video done. Subscribe now. And you can see my lamp, by the way, if you want to see my lighting in my room.